I've been a CrossFit instructor for almost 15 years now. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a certified nutrition specialist. And so part of me felt like you should know what to do because you're trained to train other people how to do this. Why isn't it working for you? And it was a big decision for me to say, as much knowledge as I have, there's missing pieces that I'm not putting together correctly for myself. And so I'm going to seek knowledge from someone who knows more about these areas than I do. Because
we have my good client, Tara, here. She's going to just introduce herself and how she was before joining. We'll just take it from there.
Hey everyone, my name is Tara Manjekovic. I am 50 years old, and I've actually kind of struggled with my weight since I was a child. I love sweets, sugar-laden carbs, and while I've never been like significantly overweight, my lifelong battle with kind of controlling my weight is something that has always impacted my self-esteem and my feelings of self-worth. And when I was in my mid-20s, I got heavily involved in fitness. And so for the last 20 years, I was able to kind of stay in shape and keep the weight off by compensating with what I eat, by hitting it hard in the gym. And that worked for me up until it didn't. And over the last year, I've hit that perimenopause stage, and I started noticing that everything that traditionally worked for me just wasn't working anymore.
Yeah, beautiful. So why don't we dive into that a little bit? Because it sounds like you were already active. Obviously, you're working out a lot more than we did together. You're already eating healthy. So kind of share some experience of how did that struggle feel? Like, how is that affecting your day to day of like the shift through perimenopause?
It was not a good feeling. I mean, first of all, when you're dealing with the other things you're going through in perimenopause, it's already a shock to your body to begin with. And it was a shock for my mindset. And I'm a very positive person. I believe very strongly in, like law of attraction and calling what you want into existence and using affirmations. And that was working in every area of my life, but not when it came to my health and fitness. And with my background, I felt like I can do this myself. I've done it before. I know how to eat healthy. I know how to work out. And it just got to the point where I said, you know what? I need some help because I'm not feeling good about myself. And I wanted to feel good about myself again.
Yeah, that's powerful. And share a little bit about the background, because obviously you're well educated. So, because a lot of the times we succeed in other areas of life, and then it's like that one piece of the puzzle. So if you don't mind sharing, like as you're going through this, what is a little like a brief, like what is your background?
Well, I actually have a pretty strong fitness background. I've been a CrossFit instructor for almost 15 years now. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a certified nutrition specialist. And so part of me felt like you should know what to do because you're trained to train other people how to do this. Why isn't it working for you? And it was a big decision for me to say, as much knowledge as I have, there's missing pieces that I'm not putting together correctly for myself. And so I'm going to seek knowledge from someone who knows more about these areas than I do, because the whole perimenopause, menopause stage was not part of my training and not something that I was familiar with. And when I started seeing, emails from you coming through my inbox, and one in particular was focused on this what I'm going through in my life right now. And the way you presented everything, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot because I'm just kind of at my wit's end and not being able to help myself.
That's powerful. And right there is to be understanding that you don't know what you don't know, right? Because you're well educated and you still took that action to make the shift. So now people listening are probably wondering, okay, so what were some of the transformations you've experienced that they could possibly experience too? So I know we always love to talk about the non-scale victory. So can you kind of just share within our time together what changes you've noticed?
The biggest change for me was how I approach not only eating, but also exercise and the whole mind-body connection. And again, I know how to eat healthy and I know how to work out, but I was still focused a lot on gym sessions that would last for a couple hours, working out 6 to 7 days a week and going hard. And it was very hard for me to wrap my head around the concept of less is more and getting in more efficient workouts in shorter amounts of time. And I really struggled with that in the beginning of this program because it's just years of ingrained, hit it hard, hit it hard, hit it hard in the gym every day. But when I committed to this program, I said, I am going to do exactly what Chibi lays out for me to do. And so as much as I am resisting it in my mind, I'm going to follow the program. And so going from 6 to 7 days a week of working out to 4 days a week of working out took an adjustment for me. And I started realizing it was actually great to have the extra free time of not spending all that time in the gym. And I did have some setbacks where I got sick and I was injured. And instead of letting it defeat me and being like, great, well, now I'm screwed, I just took the tenets of the program and I just kept doing them and just did what I could every day. And I still managed to lose the weight. And I came in with not a lot of weight to lose. This wasn't so much about weight loss for me as it was body recomposition and changing my mindset about how I approach overall health. And so that for me was what I really learned a lot with you during this.
And that's a good point you brought up is the setbacks, right? Because a lot of the times, again, you were working out 6, 7 days per week. So a lot of the times we come from a background of perfection equals success, right? So we kind of shattered that belief that you can still succeed. Because I remember you were traveling a lot too, right? Like on the weekends.
Yes. And we had a conversation about this. It was like when you know something, but it's a light bulb moment when someone else says it to you. And we had this conversation about my perfectionist attitude towards food. And I'm currently living overseas and doing a lot of traveling. And I struggle with this mentality of once I eat one bad thing, it's a wash and I might as well just, forget it. The whole weekend is out and I just eat a bunch of, and then I feel terrible, for days afterwards. And we had some conversations about that and it made me rethink my approach. And to be perfectly honest, I've gone on, I would say 7 or 8 trips during this program. And while in the beginning, it was, touch and go there, and I had to really kind of figure out what I was doing. The last few trips, I've been able to enjoy myself, not feel deprived, not beat myself up mentally when I eat something that I really enjoy, and just find that happy medium.
That's beautiful. So it's like you have the freedom to travel, be who you truly are, eat the foods you enjoy. You've overcome the perfectionism thoughts of like you need to be perfect or else you fail. And on top of that, it sounds like you figured out the balance to keep it for good, right? So kind of maybe share a little bit more about the day to day. So how was that day to day experience while you were inside the program?
So one of the things I love is in the app, you send the little inspirational messages every morning. And that to me, your morning routine sets the tone for the day. And I had a strong morning routine, but again, I do affirmations, I do all of that stuff, but they weren't as much centered around how my health impacts everything else in my life. And when I first started the program and you had me basically write out my why I'm doing this and create my own affirmations, it's very personalized towards what I was trying to achieve for myself. But yet at the same time, you provided a lot of feedback and examples, and it just made it an experience where I went, okay, I can relate to this. And in doing that every morning and in doing my affirmations and kind of setting myself up for that mindset. And I was also very resistant to tracking my food because it's such a pain in the butt. Let's be honest, it's time consuming to input your food, but it's a necessary part of figuring out where you really are. Because as much as I felt confident in my ability to eat healthy, I really was not, I didn't have the right macronutrient breakdown to achieve my goal. And that is a huge thing. And even if it's something you don't track the rest of your life, tracking in this program, the 12 weeks, set me up to understand how much, especially with like the protein, I wasn't getting anywhere near as much protein. And yeah, it was huge. And also realizing that I needed to add more fiber into my diet and finding the balance of doing that. You really do need that commitment of the 12 weeks to play around with it and get it right. Because it wasn't something that, oh, 3 weeks in, I got this, I'm good. Like it took me a while to find that balance.
That's what it's all about, because it's not about how fast you get the outcome. It's about, are you doing it the right way in which it fits your lifestyle and you can keep it for good, right? Because now, would you say that you can maintain these on your own, or do you feel like you're dependent on like working with me further? Because I know a lot of people like, okay, so what happens afterwards? So you can kind of share like your confidence levels or how you feel going on this journey, being equipped with these tools.
I feel very confident that I'm able to continue this because the tools that you did provide, they're pretty awesome. For anyone who's considering this program, it's every day. There's videos, there's written information, and it's this constant reminder because you send something out every day. And so I love that because it kind of reminded me, okay, I need to remember to focus on this. And the non-scale victories is huge because especially as women, we spend so much time worrying about the weight on the scale and paying attention to all the other benefits that you're getting by changing your mindset about health and fitness. We tend to forget those when we look at the scale, and the awareness of reminding yourself of that every week and tracking that progress every week, I think is a huge thing for the success of this program.
Appreciate that. So what would you say, any last remarks that you would say someone who's watching this who is similar to you? They're well equipped, they've been eating healthy, they know they're working out, and they're just on that fence. Like, what would you say to your past self who,
You know how they say like even every good trainer needs a mentor. Every expert needs an expert to help them because we can all learn more. And as much experience as I have in this industry, as much knowledge I have, I learned so much from you. And I think that's beneficial for anyone in my position. Even if you think you're doing it right, getting knowledge from someone else who does it differently can totally change your world.
That's powerful. Yeah, it's good you mentioned that. All the great mentors in every area of life, if you notice the trend, they always had a mentor as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, and in that you can just take from it what applies to your life, integrate it with what you're already doing, and then you can ascend further. All right. Well, I appreciate this.